Finding signs of a developing alt season. Yeah, that's the topic of today. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen. Glad to be back with you on this beautiful Thursday as we near the weekend. And some volatility. Always nice to see, right? Hey, if you're new to the stream, welcome. Again, my name's Keith Allen. I'm a work-from-home dad. I'm a full-time trader. I am co-founder of Material Indicators, and I'm glad to have you with me today. We are going to climb into a topic, quite frankly, one of the most frequently asked questions in the crypto sphere, if you will, is when alt season? Well, another question might be, is alt season or any iteration of alt season going to look anything like or resemble anything like what we've seen in previous cycles? And if it is, what are the signs? Because we're seeing some mixed signals. So what I'm going to do in this analysis is, regardless of whether there is a 2025 version of alt season that looks anything like what we've seen in the past or not, it's clear that something is happening. And alts are starting to move with more intention. And we're going to look at the signs that we're seeing that are conflicting. And we're going to look at what I believe are telltale signs that no one will dispute, everybody can agree upon. And so regardless of how you interpret it, I think that there's going to be something in here for everybody that will help you hone in on exactly what's happening with the trend, what you should be watching, and how you can position yourself for what's happening with the trend here. Of course, we have an upcoming Fed rate decision, pretty well baked in. 100% of people polled think that there is going to be a rate cut coming here on the 17th. Let's take a look and see if there's any updates on the percentages of how that's broken down, because vast majority thinking 25 basis point cut, about 11% think that there would be a 50 basis point cut. I personally am leaning towards the quarter point because I think that going higher than this, regardless of whether it's needed or not, I think that moving to a 50 basis point cut right out of the gates, I say, like, this has been lagging. It's been like almost a year since we've had a cut. But I think that going to a 50 basis point cut would signal two things. It would signal to the market, number one, that, hey, maybe things are worse than the Fed is representing. And number two, it absolutely kicks the door open on the narrative that the Fed is too late, which they obviously don't want to admit to, even if they are. So that's my thoughts on where we sit with the rate cut. Pretty sure it's happening, and now the market is baking in 3 cuts for the till the end of the year. So we'll see what effect that has. In terms of the alt conversation, we're going to climb into that, and the easiest way to do that is by climbing into the charts. So that's exactly what we're going to do. But first, as always, do me the favor. I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing you a solid. I'm giving you free content every week, and all I'm asking for in return is some engagement. So smash that like button, number one. Number two, share this thing with one of your friends, one of your trading buddies, or even with your community to help me grow the channel. And number three, and this is the most important, drop a comment. Live chat is open. I'm here for you. I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you've got insights, please share them. A high tide raises all boats. Hey, Alex, good to have you back. And glad you're listening live, man. If you got questions, pop them in, and we'll do our best to address them for you. So without further ado, I'm going to climb in and share a chart here. We'll start. Where am I starting today? I will start by first hitting the right buttons to actually share the chart. And this is one I was just referring to. This is the CME survey on potential for rate cuts. Again, nearly 90% anticipate a quarter point, 25 basis points, and 11% are calling for a 50 basis point, or forecasting, I should say, We're all probably calling for that 50 basis points, but I think what's realistic is 25 basis points here out of the gates. But time will tell. Hey, Susie, nice to have you with me as well. Let's go ahead and look at a chart. I shared this earlier this morning, and I do share this one periodically, but I like how it's starting to take shape here. And I did mark something up that was a little bit different here today. What we have here on this chart, we have Bitcoin dominance in orange. Isn't that convenient? And as you can see, Bitcoin dominance has fallen significantly. We were up above that 60% range for a little while. We had a nice divergence, and then things dumped. So it's actually broken the trend here, and in decline. We have total 3ES. Total 3ES is the top 100 coins by market cap, excluding the following: excluding Bitcoin, excluding ETH, and excluding stable coins. So this is truly straight up alts, top 100, market cap right now sitting around $830 billion. The peak, the top that I've seen is somewhere around close to 950. Let's see, that was 900 back in 2021. This is more recently around the election, that rally we had off of the election. And that was in the 900 range, $945 billion range. And I think that's the all-time high. So we have some resistance here, as you can see, right around this 930 level. And here's where the $1 trillion mark is. Is this the holy grail? Is this the magic number? Personally, I think that, and I'm going to preface this by saying I am not an alt specialist by any stretch of the imagination. For years and years and years, I was hyper focused on Bitcoin. I trade alts just as a means to generate some more powder, but I'm not much of an alt holder. In the past year, that's changed a little bit, at least in terms of integrating more ETH into my portfolio, and a very, very small basket of alts. So times like this, when we see alts ready to pop, some of them already popping, is when I get excited about engaging with the alt ecosystem. And so what I'm looking for here, a couple of things. Number one, we have declining Bitcoin dominance. Number two, we have rising total 3ES. Number three, we have declining stablecoin dominance. Okay, those three things in themselves, working in concert: declining Bitcoin dominance, declining stablecoin dominance, increasing total 3, hence alt dominance, are recipes for an alt rally. The fact that we're seeing now an erosion in ETH dominance, really, really important, because where was the money going before? Money rotates, it goes to, when things get shaky, it goes to Bitcoin and stable coins. When things get interesting, it goes to ETH. Maybe it goes to Bitcoin also. Maybe it goes to alts also. But in different, obviously, different percentages. Sometimes we get in that scenario where a high tide raises all boats and we see everything rising together. What we're looking for specifically here is this erosion in Bitcoin dominance to continue. And really, historically, in prior alt seasons, you go back to like 2021, look how much it eroded. I mean, Bitcoin dominance at that point was down sub 50%, 45%. Now, I do not know if we will see anything that looks like this in the current version of the market, because there's so much more institutional interest and demand at this point that I don't know if Bitcoin dominance can really fall this low. I'm watching to see if it does, but so far that has eluded the market for a couple of years now. So even if we don't get this breakdown, this significant in Bitcoin dominance, if Bitcoin holds its range and we still see an increase, where is the capital coming from, and what could make this rise? If 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 Bitcoin dominance doesn't erode to this level, the only way to get total three above that $1 trillion market cap is to either have more money leave ETH, which I also don't see a lot of that happening. I see ETH dominance. While we're in a bit of a pullback right now, I think the trend is that it is over time going to grow. So then that leaves two other places. Money rotates out of stable coins, out of stables into risk assets. That's number one. Number two, new money comes in. Fresh money comes into the market and helps it get there. So those are the things that we can watch in terms of the broader metrics on whether this is an alt season or not. Whether it is or it isn't, we're definitely seeing the ingredients that make for a nice alt season recipe. I'll put it that way. Now there's a number of metrics called, and I see some good questions in here, guys. I'll get to you in a second here. Susie asking if I will be adding link to my basket eventually. And Alex talking about HNT. I'll get to that in a moment, guys, but let me just finish my thought here. That I just almost lost that thought. So there's a couple of metrics like the altcoin meter, if you will. I forget what they call it. Something like that. It's an alt season indicator. And there's a couple of different ways of viewing it. Now, the way CoinMarketCap identifies it with their alt season index, it's a matter of whether the top 100 altcoins relative to Bitcoin over the past 90 days, whether 75% or more are outperforming Bitcoin. Here it is. If 75% of the top 100 coins outperform Bitcoin in the last 90 days, it's alt season. Remember, stable coins like Tether and DAI, as well as asset-backed tokens like Wrap, Bitcoin, Staked ETH, and Link aren't included here. So as you can see, a lot of coins are outperforming Bitcoin. And geez, here's a whole nother conversation of what's happening with Mix. 20,000% in the last 90 days. That's probably going to be ugly when it ends. But that's not what this discussion is about. Bottom line is they're not there yet on the 75%. I guess we're at what, 66% on according to CoinMarketCap. Now there are other alt season indexes out there, and according to, for example, CoinGlass, we've just crossed the threshold. The threshold was I think 76. And as of now, we are just entering that threshold at the moment. So and a week ago, it was at 65%. So maybe CoinMarketCap isn't updating as frequently, perhaps. So these are conflicting signals on whether or not we are there or not. And as I said, the way that I'm looking to gain clarity on that is to watch what's happening more granularly with Total 3 ES, right? Can it at least, and it doesn't mean that we have to get to $1 trillion market cap, but it does mean, in my opinion, that we've got to break this resistance here around 850 billion. A little less than that, actually. Earlier today, we were trading at 832 billion. But this got to break this. And will that happen today? Will it happen this week? Will it happen after a potential, after a rate cut next week? All of these things are on the table. I'm just telling you, This chart is, I mean, I post this chart regularly, but it's really easy to recreate this chart for yourself. You just layer in assets to compare. I've got Bitcoin dominance, I've got total 3 ES, I've got stablecoin dominance and ETH dominance. I am trying not necessarily to spoon feed you, but to teach you guys how to find this stuff and monitor it for yourselves so you can do this for yourselves. Simple as that. So let's see if we can get to these questions here. Susie asked if I will be adding a link to my basket eventually. I have, Susie, I will tell you that personally, and listen, I'm not telling you to trade what I trade. I'll just tell you what I do or what I have done. I have added link to my basket a couple of times and I've sold it. It's for me a matter of conviction and also a combination of um, capital management and where I want to put it. So I bought it and I've sold it multiple times. I don't currently have it. I might consider adding it back in. And you know what? Let's just take a look at it right now. Um, Dot was the same thing. I had Dot and I was staking it for a while, and then here's what I hate about staking. I love the fact that I can earn some yield on my assets, but for fuck's sake, the unlock periods on some of them are a little bit daunting. So when we approach periods like this, where I think we could have a rally and it can end as soon as it begins, I unstake and try and position myself for some profit taking. I did that recently with Dot. Um, did it pay off for me? Yeah, because I made money. Did price recover from my trailing stop loss? It has. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean I'm not going to get another opportunity, because as we can see right here, it has fallen below this timescape level, and maybe it's going to go back and give us another support test, and I'll pick it up again. But what was it? Link we're going to look at. So let's take a peek at Link real quick. Link USD. Link is actually in a pretty nice spot right here. You can see it bounced from this prior timescape level, and is currently fighting with the 21-day moving average. So the fact that it is above the yearly open, this is really important here. So of the most critical timescape levels, in my opinion, right, they all actually have some relevance. And the ones that have confluence with other technical indicators, in my opinion, are the are the strongest at any given moment. So as you can see, this one right here, this is the first week of the yearly open. Has pretty close confluence with the 21-day moving average. And so I want to see a breakout above this, a confirmed breakout above this to get excited. However, I do like that we've got a support test to the golden fib, top of the golden fib at the 0.618 fib extension you can see right here. And so yes, you can see that I've played with Link quite a bit in the past, and I am open to another setup. If had I been paying attention to it, I would have bought this right here, but I wasn't, because I was focused on accumulating more ETH. So that's my take on that. I do like that Link has some fundamentals, and so let's go to, what was the other one? HNT is what Alex is asking about. HNT, token of the DPIN narrative. Do I think it can hold the actual level? Well, let's just see. HNT USDC. Well, how about that for a 18% candle? Geez. Um, Candles like this scare me, because they typically have at least a partial retracement, if not a full retracement. So here's what I'm watching for right here. If I was in this trade right now, and again, this is just the way I trade. I'm super conservative with my profit taking, right? I like it's especially with alts, and most certainly with things that I don't have conviction on, and I'm just looking at a setup. What I love here is the consolidation around the quarterly open. You can see these timescape levels here. Um, so I love the consolidation above the quarterly open. This is very, very strong. And then a break above this second quarter open. And this all happened today, by the way, right? So then we have a break above the 21-day moving average, all really, really good. Now, there's lots of potential upside here. No question about it, right? I mean, just to get back to the yearly open, look at the upside potential on just to reclaim the yearly open. And in my opinion, until the asset reclaims the yearly open, it's it's not. I'm not. How should I say? Hyper bullish, but what we can see here is um, a revisit of support to a really a. Let me just make sure I'm looking at what is really a low. Certainly a low since it's early days in 2023. Um, so this is kind of this is solid bottom territory in my opinion. So I do like that it formed a bottom here, came off of this quarterly timescape level, and is now trying to reclaim 1, 2, 3 key moving averages in one candle. So the question now here is, can this hold? Can this hold right here? And so if it, I would have taken some profit on this already, just because I take profits along the way. So let's just had you taken this trade here, you would be up 20%. I would be trimming a little back right there if that were me. But in terms of upside potential, um, you've got 34% on that move all the way to the 200-day moving average, and from there you could see that real breakout attempt. That's a 50% trade. Even if we just got in it now, right? Let's say things hold, and we can see some consolidation around this. I don't think it's going to, but let's say even the 100-day moving average held, and you took a position here. And I'm going to do this with a different metric here, so we can put some risk into the equation here. I like this trade from down here a lot better than I like it from right here, by the way. But if you were to do this, I would say that in terms of upside potential, you've got almost 13% just to get to the 200-day moving average. You have 25% to get to this last timescape that is really the last bit of friction before you get to the yearly open. And then if you could clear this, and you could clear this prior high, then you've got a beautiful, I mean, that's a fat trade right there, just to get back to the yearly open. So I do actually like this trade, and especially if we get a pullback here. So what I'm watching for at this point on HNT is to see if support holds here at this level. I would be interested in taking a position on a support test. Let's see if we can get a glimpse, if we get some insight from fire charts on where support might live on that coin. Internet running super slow. Even, I got I got new internet. It is allegedly, it's advertised as super duper fast, like double the speed that I had in my old place. And and it's not really performing that way. So let's see, HNT, right? Is it HNT? HNT. Is there no HNT on Binance? Does this not exist here yet? That doesn't seem right. It's not. Okay. Well, if it is on Binance, then we're going to have to add it to fire charts, but I don't see it there right now. Hey, Alex, do you know if this is on Binance? I guess I could look it up real quick. Let's see. HNT, USD. No, it's not on Binance. That's why we don't see it on fire charts. So there you have it. Nonetheless, I like the setup. So there you go. Looks like it's going for this support test here on the 50 and the 100. I personally might be a little surprised if it holds, but okay, Alex is saying it's in Gemini. Fair enough. All right. Well, hope that gives you guys a little insight in terms of where we are with this whole alt season phenomenon, or anything that resembles an alt season. I again, because of the way that different entities and different analysts measure it, I find it difficult to put too much stock in. One says it's at 66%, the other one says it's at 78%. Maybe this is just a matter of the pacing that they update. Although this says today, 9/11 today, which, by the way, and you'll notice it says altcoin market cap is 1.68, and I was talking about a $1 trillion market cap for Total 3 ES. The difference is this is all altcoins versus Total 3, which is just the top 100. So there's that. So again, but either way, I'm cautious about going strictly off of these metrics, because again, one says it's at 66%, the other one says we are at 78%. But one thing does not lie, and that is the active chart. And the active chart tells me that altcoins are still struggling to break this even $850 million market cap on Total 3. So a break above this would get me really excited. In the meantime, it's about looking for setups, right? And so when you find setups like we found here on HNT, and if there's anything else you want me to look up really quick before we wrap this, I'll do it for you guys. Let's look at a couple others, right? Let's look at Litecoin. It's a dino, right? I have a love-hate relationship with Litecoin at this point. I'm a little disappointed in what they've done, and the fact that they have not been able to maintain this position above. Look at this timescape level right here. First week of the yearly open, we're above the yearly open, which has beautiful confluence here with the 100-day moving average. But that first week also matters a great deal, and it's lost that. So holding the 21-day moving average, which has confluence with this 2023 timescape level, holding this moving average, but failing to hold the yearly and the 50-day moving average, makes me think that maybe it's just not time yet, and there might be another opportunity to buy a dip. So that is my take on Litecoin. Let's see if we have other popular coins. Of course, Solana, which has been lit lately, doing quite well. Solana is off to the races. You can see it's cleared all of the timescape levels here, and now has also cleared the 0.618. So you can see I've got lots of room for Solana to move to all-time high, and price discovery. That's one that I do have staked, and I'm just hanging on to for now, and quite frankly, quite happy with it. Okay. I'll reluctantly take a look at a meme for you, and why not look at the Doge father of all memes? and see what's happening over here. Doge. What have I built on Doge? It looks like I have a cup and handle pattern, similarly to what we had on Bitcoin. Big macro multi-year cup and handle pattern out of Doge, right? And so you can see how it rejected the breakout on the handle, but now is trying to become something. We're still a ways from the yearly open, which to me is macro bearish for this asset. But we're at a decent support level, and unwinding these key moving averages is important. So you see this has been happening here, right? The green 21 day moving average has unwound, golden crossed, if you will, the red 50, the blue 100, the purple 200. All right. Then we had another quick winding of the 50 and the 21. And as of today or yesterday, that seems to be unwinding. So momentum moving in the right direction for Doge. You find a support level, then you might be interested in taking it, because even though it is below this, and that is macro bearish, at some point you get that reversal, right? And so we had a consolidation above the 100-day moving average here, which is good. And let's see what the risk reward looks like on this setup. Even if you were to take it from right here, I would not be overly eager to see it go all the way back. So I'd probably get hunted on a tight stop. I'd like to see it down here, to be honest with you, to take the position, but it may not go there again. So you can ignore that. This is not really a trend line. This is just me with a handle pattern. What I do like, though, is the upside potential, right? 28%, 25% just to get to the yearly open, 55% to get to the first weekly open of the year. And then, of course, just to return to the high is nearly 100% move from here. So might be a good setup there to consider if you're into memes, right? And of course, notice that the yearly open timescape has some confluence with the 0.5 fib. So expect this to be strong resistance. I'd expect it to be strong resistance just standalone as the timescape level, but even stronger with the fact that it is so closely correlated with the fib level. Susie, can I peek at your dear Cass? Sure, because I appreciate you being around. Let's see where we'll find this. This is, we'll find it on MEX. I've not charted this, but I see running into a heap of resistance right here. Did get a support test. Look at this. Look at this, like to the dot support test on that quarterly timescape. This is the quarterly open here, July 1st, 2025. I mean, a picture perfect support test here. So and the moving averages are really closely wound here on the daily. So if price can rise above this, then you've got tremendous upside potential here. But this is strong resistance at the moment that you need to be conscious of. So I would not be opening a position here. I would be, depending on where you got in, looking for opportunities. I know you're holding this for a long time, so I'm not sure what your entry was, Susie, but this is obviously a spot where it might be tough to break. But once you do, if you do, then you've got some tremendous upside potential here. So let's just look at it from where we sit right now. All right, I'm not going to look at it from where we sit because I wouldn't be taking that trade. But if we went back and we retested support, I would consider something like this, low risk, risk very little, just to get back to the 50-day moving average. It's a 15% move with a less than 4% risk. Obviously, we like a bigger trade, bigger swing at least. And if you're targeting that yearly open, that's a 50% move. That's a beautiful freaking trade. Even from here. So even if you waited for the breakout, and did something like this, you still have a solid setup. It's a 30% move. Yes, you sacrificed 20% of your profit potential, but you mitigated a shit ton of risk. So keep that in mind. Yes, I agree. There is a Doge. There's a Doge application, and I want to say maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong. I could be mistaken, but I want to say a November decision coming from the SEC on Doge. Am I correct on that? Please chime in if you know, Alex. I don't want to look it up at the moment. I don't want to take time to look it up during the stream. But gosh, this has been fun, man. I always love when you guys give me suggestions and things that you want to learn and analyze, because it helps me tailor the content for what you guys want. So I will give you, I've actually got a meeting I got to get ready for. So I'll give you one more if you want it in the next minute or so. But again, Susie, I know you have a lot of conviction on this coin. I would just be mindful of the fact that you're running into really strong technical resistance right here. And so again, I don't know where you entered at or whether or not you've taken any profits here, but I'd be watching this closely so you don't give too much back if there is indeed a rejection. But you know this coin probably as well, if not better than anybody, and what the community is all about. So if you have conviction that you're going to break this, you do you. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Susie, I appreciate you too. I'm holding long-term. Average entry was 0.089. Okay, so 0.89. So you're not in profit at the moment, if I'm reading that correctly. So let's see where you're sitting here. So you're trying to get to the green, but you're building a position. You gave some back here. So if I could give you anything positive to hang on to here, it's that you had a good, solid bounce from strong technical support marked by 2 timescape levels here. Both of them were tested. This is good. The fact that these moving averages are so tightly wound means that this resistance is uber strong. However, you don't have to clear a lot of space to get to the upside here. So, but this one, you've got to clear this 50-day moving average to be in profit. So when that happens, you've got a great move. And if you have conviction on it and you get a support test, you may want to dollar cost average this down. So that's my thoughts on this guy. So there you have it. Great stream, guys. Again, I appreciate all the support and the engagement. Let's keep it coming, and I will continue to do these for you guys. In the meantime, if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future streams, not just because I want to have you around, but because I don't want you to miss out on any of the information and insight I'm sharing with you and the lessons. I hope I'm teaching you guys something along the way. And if you really want to do me a solid, share this stream with some of your friends and the trading communities that you're involved in, and help me grow the channel. Gonna wrap it right there. Hope this helps you make some better, more informed trading decisions, and hope you end the day, end the week, end the year with solid green P&L. Have a good one, guys. We'll do it again soon.